Hello everyone, welcome back to a brand new video, and we're talking about Disclosure Day, and it's written by David Kemp. We meet again, you absolute idiot. This is a Steven Spielberg directed film and an idea from Steven Spielberg. He should have kept the idea to himself. This stars Emily Blunt as Margaret Fairchild, who is a weather presenter. We also have Colin Domingo as Hugo. Colin Firth is in this as Noah. We also have Josh O'Connor as Daniel Kellner. And so this film is about these two people, Jack O'Connor, Daniel and Margaret, who have discover their weird powers. And so yeah, this film starts out, the first 15 minutes is fine, setting up the story. Daniel has stolen some secrets from the government, and he's trying to get it back, and they try and track him down, and something's missing from the facility. That's all fine, absolutely, completely fine. And and then Margaret has on the way to work, she whilst she's having breakfast, she sees this bird, and then all of a sudden starts speaking different languages, and goes to work, and then she manages to get stopped by a policeman because he's singing and driving erratically. Manages to get out of it. We don't quite know why yet. That's okay. It's all fine. The first kind of half an hour is kind of setting up the story, all fine, and then you get to the bit where it starts to kick off, and Daniel has to escape from Colin Firth's character right at the beginning because they managed to get his girlfriend, and then because they want the secrets back, and he's got this kind of stick thing, which is an alien device, which is perceived to be dangerous because he's holding it and everyone's like backing off. And so they escape, and they go to a safe, and they go to a nunnery. And the first mistake is, why is Daniel allowed in a nunnery? Because nuns are only is a women only space, and no one questions it. Oh, hello, and they're allowed to be in the same room together. And yet nunneries are supposed to be like where you don't allow men, or you're not allowed, you don't have to believe in sex or anything. So why again is he there? I know it's an emergency, but these type of things are a bit weird. So yeah, that's the first mistake. So then they go to the safe house the following morning, and then without any exploration, Colin Firth's character, Noah, manages to get into Jane's brain, and tries to convince her, she's got a knife, trying to hold it in her hand, with it crossed and everything, trying to get Noah out. If she's trying to get Noah out of her brain, and she's squeezing this knife so hard to get him out of her brain because she's being invaded, because the eye change kind of starts going dizzy, and Noah kind of sits at the table, and why is she gripping this knife so hard that she's trying to get him out of her brain, that she bleeds, she cuts her own hand because she's squeezing a knife in her hand to cause pain and stuff. So why, if she's trying to get him out of his brain so much, why is she so willing to give him information? It's like 1 minute she's trying to get him out of her brain, and the next minute, okay, I'll do what you want. She believes him, that Daniel's crazy and against the government. If she's trying to get him out of her brain, why does she give the information so willingly? And then she has a knife up her sleeve, so when Daniel comes back to the house, and somehow another strand, on the way to a doctor's surgery, Emily Blunt rings Kellner and says, you can't go back to the house because they're after you, and I don't know how, I don't know, blah blah blah. That's okay, that bit's fine. So you go back to the house. He picks her up. Again, another thing, they're surrounded, the house, and he somehow manages to get into this car, and then breaks through the house, and then drive off with her. And then another mistake, which this is one of the cardinal mistakes I absolutely hate. You can see the cars are close together as they're going up this dirt track, and you can see she's there, the FBI there, the Jack and Daniel and Jane are there, and you can see the cars are quite close together. They go around this corner, and then there's a drop, and then you're like, oh my god, let's get out, because and then she runs off. They run off. They go, hey a minute, we can put a rock on the thing and drive it over the cliff, because there's a cliff at the end, and then you go over it. Like, there is not enough time for the speed the car was going for Jane to go, oh, let's do that, and then run back and then run into the bush. There's not enough time. And then they come around the corner, oh, they must have gone over the edge. Well, let's not look around at all and just stare at the edge. And so they run off. Okay, like, I hate time things when there's clearly not enough time for things to happen. And that isn't the first time this happens either. So, Margaret and Jackson end up going to the hospital and to see what's wrong with Jane, because she collapses during a weather when she gets to work doing a weather report, and then she and then they get there and there's nothing wrong with her, and all of a sudden this FBI agent's around, like, oh, this FBI agent wants to talk to you. And Jackson, her boyfriend, is his name, isn't it? The most annoying moron in film history. Yeah, Jackson, played by Wyatt Russell. And so he goes, well, she convinces Jackson to help her escape. So they get in the car, and then he goes, oh my god, I'm going to be tracked because of my phone and stuff. So she tells Jackson to run over it. So you got two FBI agents outside of her hospital bed room, and then they're like looking at her, looking all like dangerous, like, I don't mean they're the good people, they're going to get me. So they manage to escape, and then he tries to run over her phone. So you think, oh, this is setting up the FBI agent to go, stop, because he's not running over the phone, he's missing it like a complete idiot. He's missing the phone. She has to literally put it under his watch. So you're thinking the FBI agent's going to come out in a minute and start shooting. Nothing. Absolutely bloody nothing. So they're setting up like intense moments for absolutely nothing. They don't wonder where she's gone. They don't follow her. They just stand there like complete morons. So, and they're just like, what the hell's going on here? And so then they get to and then you get to this hotel thing. And then Colin Firth's character, Noah takes her over Jane again and manages to he ties her hands to the bed, and then she manages to kick it with her foot. And I wonder how they found me. And then so he then gives her the device, and then he kind of gets taken in by them. And then you're like, okay, so later on, he gets taken, and Margaret manages to find him and get him out somehow. I won't give away that detail because it's quite good. And then you're like, wait a minute. So, and then later on, when they're trying to find where Noah is, they use this wand thing, like I've said before, the thing that Colin Firth Noah uses to infiltrate people's brains. And then he drops it because he can only do it for so long. And then someone picks it up but isn't gloved, and then kind of disintegrates into a different room. And you're like, wait a minute. So Daniel can hold it, fine. But this bloke can't. So why can Noah do it? There's no explanation whatsoever why Noah can actually do this thing. So anyway, Colin Domingo's character, Hugo, is kind of guiding both Margaret and Jack, going, Daniel going, right, you're going to come to me and this is going to happen and blah, 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 kind of giving them droplets of information. So anyway, so near the kind of halfway point, 2/3 of the movie, he realises that Noah realises that Hugo is the one kind of running this operation. So he then goes into Hugo's mind, and you're like, wait a minute. So Hugo kind of knows all this stuff, but he doesn't realise that you can. So he doesn't realise stuff. But then he goes, oh, get out, somebody get out, please, because I don't want us to know him. I don't want you to see his our location. Get out. I don't want people to know. You know, I don't want people to know who's working with me. Get out quick, because he's in something happened. Get out. So he doesn't realise that he can find out where they are by the location of knowing where they are. But he's the one that's stolen this information and knows his information and knows about the aliens and knows what their intentions are. You know, yet he doesn't know that. All of a sudden, that he knows that he doesn't want people to see who's working for him, but he can't work out. Oh my God, how did they find us? And then he doesn't get even angry that the location may have been found. Yet somehow it's okay. And then you're like, okay. And then you get to the kind of end of the movie where gets where they get to the ending and trying to show everyone what's going on, and you're like, so you get to the end where they're trying to show people what's going on, and you just like, so the FBI are outside, Noah's outside. They cut the power to the TV station. They cut the backup power, and they storm in, and then Jane comes out of nowhere with the FBI agents. You don't. Last time you see Jane, she's in a diner borrowing somebody's phone to ring the nunnery to ask what happens if people get hold of this information. What happens to religion? What happens to humanity? Because Daniel shows her what he's stolen because she wants to know, and then she rings the nunnery and says, what happened, and the nun actually believes in aliens. So not only is the nun okay with having a bloke in the nunnery, she actually believes in aliens as well, and actually does give a religious reason why, which is okay. Haven't checked that out, but okay. So you get there, and Jane just gives Margaret another device to give her power to turn on the lights and stuff. Where the hell did Jane come from? Last time we see her, she's borrowing a phone off some people, and that she pays like $20 or $30 for the phone call, and you don't see her again. How did Noah pick her up? Where did that come from? And why all of a sudden is she allowed to just run in with them to give her a device? Where did she get the device from? How did she manage to grab it? Why are they taking her? Why are the FBI agents taking her with her? What the hell is going on? Because Jane, when they find Noah in the motel, Jane kind of takes the bag and, as I said before, runs off. So when did Noah and the FBI agents pick her up? And why can she just freely run in to give Margaret a device to finish the broadcast? Where the hell did that come from? I mean, what a non-existent reason. There wasn't one. And then Noah comes in and then kind of gives up and sits down. Even Mark Kermode can't see that ending. It is an absolutely useless ending. And another thing, it shows all these bloody aliens that look like Thor from Stargate. They're like either dead or fucking groggy because they crash landed on Earth. I mean, how many times can an alien fucking crash land like a... I think if I was an intelligent being, I wouldn't drive near Earth. Could I bloody crash? Because clearly aliens can't drive in Earth's atmosphere because they just crash. I mean, my God. I mean, and then this big alien turned up, gives Margaret an explanation of what they want and humanity and compassion and stuff, and then the film ends. So we don't find out what the aliens actually want. So we don't find out what they really want anyway. So we know they exist, and she goes to give a explanation of what they want to the world, and then the film ends. Brilliant. Once again, really well written by David Kemp, an absolutely useless writer who can't seem to write like proper. And I've forgotten this other bit as well. There's a train sequence where this big oil tanker train comes along and they're in a car and they're being pushed onto the track. With everyone's done that before, and yet the train doesn't stop. It's bibbing its horn and they don't stop. Oh God! And people think that's a good scene. If you're a train and the car's on the track, you would at least try and pull the brakes, wouldn't you? But no. And you wouldn't keep going if you hit a bloody car. You'd fucking stop, wouldn't you? But no, you don't stop. Anyway, that's earlier on in the film. I forgot that bit. That was annoying as well. I probably forgot a few other things, but go and see the film for yourself to see how shit it is. What would I rate it? Generously, a 3 to a 4. I mean, the performances were good. The CGI for the aliens was absolutely awful. I mean, it looked cheap. It looked cheap to comparison to Thor from Stargate. I mean, oh dear me, it was terrible. I won't be buying this. I won't be watching it again. And oh dear, David Kemp, never ever write any more movies. You absolutely useless writer. Please like, comment, subscribe if you like this rant. It's not really a review. I'll see you on the next video. Bye.